With that, I would like to kick off the second day of the Unidir Space Security Conference, and it is my great pleasure to introduce another fantastic panel being moderated by my good friend Dr. Xavier Pascot. So with that, I will hand it over.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and welcome back to this second day of this great space security conference. Oh, okay. And all right. And many issues have already been addressed yesterday regarding the challenges ahead of us for a more secure space world and environment. And as we have seen yesterday, space governance has global consequences, and efforts to find collectively accepted rules have not yet been totally fruitful, let's say. In particular, finding the right instrument remains a key issue. We've heard about legally binding instruments or more political agreements, projects. And I remember that yesterday, Mrs. Ashina recalled the attempt led by the European Union to propose an international code of conduct for space to address space safety and security related issues, and it's not been successful as well. For many different reasons. It's been a decade-long effort, in a sense, almost. But it's been interesting because it has raised, I think, the awareness that space is a collective environment. We are all interdependent, and we have to deal with this difficulty on a collective basis. So, however, and this is the purpose of our panel today, such a tool, the Hague Code of Conduct, has been existing for since 2002 to deal with transparency and to create confidence-building measures in a very sensitive field, dealing with ballistic missiles and space launches, to propose some sort of an agreement for increasing confidence-building measures and transparency in this field. It's been signed at this time, in 2002, by 92 countries. And as of today, this HCOC, the Hague Code of Conduct, has 140 signatory countries. So it's been a big progress since 2002. And I'm particularly glad to talk about this because for more than 10 years now, the foundation I'm directing, Fondation pour la Recherche Stratégique, the FRS, has been acting as the implementing agency on behalf of the European Union to promote what remains as of today the only multilateral instrument and the only TCBM, in a sense, dealing with ballistic missiles and space launch. And as part of these activities we've regularly organized seminars worldwide, as well as expert missions dedicated to regional issues and helping create a better mutual understanding of the global impact of this type of code of conduct, I would say, in a particular case, on international security. So for this reason, I'm particularly pleased to chair this panel today that will aim at giving you some hints also about some of the specific challenges such an instrument may be faced with in the near future. In my view, and reflecting on our experience, I believe personally that adaptation remains a key word for such an instrument to remain efficient. The environment is moving very rapidly, whether it's in its geopolitical dimensions or in its technological dimensions. And for such instruments, adaptations, good communication is key for success. So we have the chance to have with us today outstanding presenters on these issues. And I will first give the floor to Her Excellency Ambassador Nielsen, Swedish Ambassador for Disarmament and Non-Proliferation and current chair of the Hague Code of Conduct, to provide us with a view of the code, of its functioning and its perspectives. We then turn towards Dr. Isabelle Soubès from CNRS, Research Director at the French CNRS, for a presentation of some of the most notable trends in the field of light space launch. This is a rapidly evolving domain with evolving technologies, and the relationship between space launch and ballistic missiles is obviously at the heart of I would say, the preoccupation of something like the HCOP. And last but not least, we'll have with us Tarimba, the head of the Space Research Center at the Fisher Institute, Israel, who will tell us more about the technological challenge and precisely about this, I would say, links between the two worlds. We will start with presentations and questions from my side, and then you will have the possibility, of course, to ask questions on this particular subject. And also, of course, all this, and we will see that, is related at the heart of the preoccupation of this conference, obviously, because of the many links it can have with the space security as a whole. So, Ambassador Nielsen, I give you the floor.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here, and I also, of course, want to thank UNIDIR for organizing these important and interesting conferences. For me, it's the first time I'm attending one, so I was listening very carefully yesterday, and before I turn, as my job here today is to speak about the Hague Code of Conduct, but I just wanted, before I start, I just want to share, say a few words on space from a national Swedish perspective when I anyway have the floor, and this is the theme of the conference itself. As many of you, Sweden has been for more than 50 years also very engaged in space through space industry research and also our own space center. And last year, the Swedish government presented a national strategy to strengthen Sweden's space activities. And also in this open and transparent strategy that is available to all, we tried to take a rather holistic perspective in writing it for the benefit of society. And I wanted to mention this today because I think that's a very important starting point when we speak about space, that it really should be, what we do there should be conducted